Everyone. Looks like we have everyone in. Hi, I'm Regina Cross with the MSU Alumni Office, the Spartan Pathways Travel Program, and I'm glad you're able to join us today for this pre-departure meeting for Costa Rica tour. First, I have a little bit of housekeeping rules here that I want to go over. If you could stay muted throughout the presentation, that would be helpful. Sometimes background noises pick up very easily with the computer's speakers. So if you could do that. Also, too, I know many of you have signed up for our Bright Crowd online directory. If you haven't done so, let me know, and you want to add a page, then let me know and I can send you an email so that you can fill out the information so you can see and also see what others or learn a little bit about your fellow travelers before you depart on the trip. This meeting is being recorded, so and I'll share a link to the recording probably sometime tomorrow. And it gives you an opportunity if you've forgotten something that was said, you can go back in and take a look at that. So, okay. And then at the end of the presentation, after the question and answer period, what I'd like to do is kind of go around the room, have people introduce themselves, kind of say what your connection is with Michigan State, if you're a graduate, if you're friends of a graduate, a little bit about your background and what you're looking forward to on the trip. Okay, so next I'm going to introduce our host for the tour, Kathleen Deneau. She has worked for University Advancement for many years, and she works in our annual giving department. And Kathleen, do you want to say a few words?
Yes, thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I am thrilled to be joining you on this trip. I've never been to Costa Rica. I don't travel a great deal. Hope to one day when I'm retired, but I'm really looking forward to getting to meet all of you and to all the fun, exciting stuff that we're going to be doing on this trip. So thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will send a follow-up email to you just to again introduce myself. And this is my husband, Ken, who's accompanying me on the trip. So it's really exciting for all of us. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kathleen. Next, I want to introduce Emily Joy. She is an account representative from Odysseys Unlimited, and she is going to go over a brief, or not brief, but information regarding the tour. And so take it away, Emily.
Thank you so much, Regina. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily, and I'm basically here, as Regina said, just to go over a lot of your trip information, get you prepared, and also give you a space to meet each other, answer any last minute questions. So, excuse me, we'll go through a few slides that I've put together, some of the highlights, things to look forward to, so on and so forth. So feel free to shout your questions out, enter them in the chat, or save them to the end. We'll make sure that we get you leaving here with all them answered. So just gonna start by sharing my screen. And you're not going to Australia. I promise you we didn't book you there, but okay. There we go. Again, welcome to your Costa Rica's Natural Heritage pre-departure briefing. Your tour dates, as you are all hopefully aware by now, are March 30th through April 9th. And those of you that are on the Tortuguero extension will leave a little bit earlier on the 27th and then join the group on the 30th. And this is a Spartan Pathways Travel exclusive date, so it's really lovely that we can get all of these wonderful Spartans together at an exclusive date, which really helps with just taking the first step forward with that connection as we learn about each other more towards the end of the meeting. So we'll jump right in. And I know it looks like a lot of text, but we'll make it digestible. And just to start off with some of the tour highlights, it's some of the reasons why you probably booked this tour. And just a few things to get you excited. To start with the Uratsu volcano excursion. You'll also visit the Doka Coffee Estate and then the Carrizals Botanical Orchard Garden. You'll also visit Eco Centro Danos Biological Reserve, as well as the arenal hanging bridges with a guided walk through those. We have a picture on the upcoming slides for you to get excited about that too. You'll have a night viewing of the arenal volcano, as well as a Mount Verde Cloud Forest Biological Reserve visit. And then a 3-night stay in Guanacaste Beachfront Resort, which is a perfect time to go. If you're located in Michigan, I know it's a little bit cold this time of year, so it's a good time to get out in the winter and get some warm. And there's so much more to look forward to, not just these little bullets that I have on the slide. And if you're curious about when these types of events happen or what else you have in store, all of this is available on your My Odysseys portal. And you'll hear me mention that a lot because all of this information is already available to you. But if we're mentioning it, it's probably important or exciting. So we want to make sure you are aware on how to find all of that information. So this will be in your day-by-day itinerary with all the events. And then there's so much more that we'll go through on your portal as well. But just to start with the packing information, some of the things that we've found people most successful on this tour, and I always like to start any tour with good, broken in, comfortable walking shoes. So this may look like a 1 or 2 pair situation, depending on how you like your shoes and if you want to use one for more of an active day or a more low profile one for just a regular city touring day. But I do recommend that if you have a new pair of shoes that you want to wear on tour, start breaking them in now. So I recommend that they're well broken in and then they're comfortable. So a lightweight hiker or a trail sneaker, as well as a regular sneaker, is our recommendation. If you like a heavy hiker with ankle support, by all means, that is purely preferential and dependent on if you have the amount of space in your luggage. But I do recommend that you do take note of the footwear that you're bringing on tour. And then likewise with your clothing, we also recommend layered clothing. And I also like to note that no formal clothing is required on tour. Especially in Costa Rica, you'll see that naturally people dress a little bit more laid back in that like layered type of clothing. So no formal wear is required unless you want to bring a few nicer pieces for your last meals with each other. But easily layered clothing might look like a windbreaker with a sweatshirt and a t-shirt. And I also recommend to stay away from a lot of cotton materials because as you'll go through different environments, you'll see that there's different moisture in the air. And cotton material will really make that water stick and you'll feel it. So I do recommend moisture wicking type of material for your clothing as well. And then likewise, a rain gear, we also recommend that you do bring that just so you have it in case you need it right away, which includes either a poncho or an umbrella. And then moving on, if you're going to a beachfront resort, I really recommend that you bring your bathing suit in addition to a lot of the other places on tour that will have pools, spas, so on and so forth. If you're really interested in seeing what those amenities look like, you can look into your accommodations list that we've sent to you and posted on your portal as well. We always recommend a money belt or a day pack. This may look like a purse or a small money belt, as I said, but I do just like to recommend and have you keep in mind the type of bag that you're using. So maybe stay away from all the zippers and a little bit more concealed. Generally, we don't see a lot of issue with pickpocketing in Costa Rica, but that does not take away from the fact that we want you to practice general personal safety when it comes to your travel. And as you venture into these different climates, we do recommend that you bring bug spray with DEET. If you're worried about bringing a bottle of bug spray, they do sell those wipes, and then they do sell non-aerosol bug spray as well, as I'm sure you're aware. But you can always get those at the pharmacy, at CVS, and so on. So we do recommend that you have that in case it's needed, as well as sunscreen with a minimum of 30 SPF. To even further on the sun protection, we also recommend sunglasses and a hat for those days that you're spending out a little bit into the sun for a while. And then we also recommend a small medicine kit and a first aid kit in addition to your prescription medications. So nothing too over the board, just maybe some things that you might necessarily need while you're on tour, from things like Benadryl to Dayquil to Imodium, so on and so forth. So just those types of precautions of things that you might need when you're on tour. And then also just the first aid kit. You can always get Band-Aids at a hotel or something like that, but it's always nice to have it on your person if you need it. This tour is a great tour to bring your binoculars if you have some. Some hotels might be able to rent them out per availability, but we won't be able to guarantee that. So I do recommend that you bring your own pair of binoculars, or you can buy them on the ground with the help of your tour director. And then also a flashlight, just as you do travel to places like Guanacaste at the beach and you want to venture out, and just having a flashlight is a good tool as you go in between different buildings and so on and so forth. So I know that was a lot of information and we breezed right through it. I do just want to say it's all word for word, all of this is able to be referenced on your My Odyssey's general information PDF that we've sent you in a few different ways, and I'll show you how to find that. I do just wanted to open it up really quick, see if anyone has any questions about packing information. We'll move on to get into the more specifics about Costa Rica here shortly, like money and so on, but just want to give it a quick break, see if anyone has anything that they want to. Okay. We will move on. So again, you've heard me mention this like a broken record, but this is your My Odysseys portal. Hopefully by now this is familiar to you. This is where you signed your terms and conditions and where all of this information has been made available for you, most specifically in the red box there. So what we did on March 9th is we compiled a lot of these documents, like your general information, your accommodations, the itinerary list that we mentioned, as well as a lot of a lot more of these documents, and we sent those to you in March 9th. And it's basically one of your last communications that you'll receive from us. So I do recommend that you find that email. You take a look at it. If you've booked your flights through us, it's going to have your final flight itinerary again. And we just want to make sure that you do know where that email is, because it's a really good tool to have, especially if you download the PDF contents, because if you're out and about on your own and you forgot the hotel name, the accommodations PDF is a great resource to get the address for the taxi and get back, or whatever you need. Or if you're on the bus and you want to look at what the activities are for the next day in detail, you can always do that. So I do recommend that you find that. In addition, another important document was sent in that batch that we'll go over a little bit later. And I'm not going to spend too much time on the portal because a lot of you have probably been seeing it a lot for a long time. So we'll just move on to your trip information. Again, we have a US departure of March 30th with an arrival into San Jose on the same day. And then at the end of the tour, you will and those of you, all of you, will be departing from Liberia on April 9th. And like I said, the Tortuguero National Park pre-tour extension guests will depart the US for tour on March 27th and then meet up with everyone on March 30th. So it's coming up here soon. And there are 16 guests on this tour, including your host, Kathleen. And then there are also 6 of you that will be arriving to the Tortuguero National Extension early. So for some of the country information that we just like you to be aware about, again, all available in your general information document. Number 1 is going to be the Costa Rican currency, which is the colon. While you are in Costa Rica, US dollars are accepted in bills less than 20. Though I want you to be aware that if you do pay in USD, you may get the colon back. Credit cards are accepted in major cities and at all of your hotels. And if there's ever a point where you need to get the cologne out, your tour director will let you know and bring you to the best ATM to exchange or get money for that activity. Generally, not that much money is needed on tour if you have a few different types of cards, like a debit or a credit. But we do recommend that you stay away from the airport exchanges, just because we find, and the bank exchanges before you depart. So ordering cologne from your bank, we recommend that you stay away from that because generally we find those fees to be extremely high. And whenever you do need money, your tour director will be able to help you get that. And then also some of your hotels will have exchanges in them. So I don't want you to worry about that, but I do recommend that you bring some 20s just in case for those small purchases. And then also using different forms of payment like cards, like we mentioned. And on that note, we do recommend that you call your bank to or your card issuer to let them know that you are traveling. I know a lot of days cards and banks say that they are borderless, you can travel wherever and we won't freeze your card. But I always like to say it's a lot better to fight with Chase Bank here than it is when you're trying to sip that pina colada on the beachfront beach. So I do recommend that you do cover all of those bases before you leave. And then also, if you do intend to keep cell phone service, different carriers do offer different plans. So I recommend that you speak to them or, explore your options if that's what you prefer, because Wi-Fi will be available at all your hotels, but generally it's not going to be as reliable on your bus or throughout different areas while you're traveling. It just goes hand in hand with some of the areas that will be particularly more remote. So I do just want to make sure that you are aware that you might not be able to depend on Wi-Fi 100% of the time, though service through your cell phone carrier will be a lot more connected. And then in a way to charge those devices, the Costa Rica does use the same plugs and the same voltage as the United States, so you are in no need to get any adapter or converter, which is good if you want to bring those hair appliances, ladies, even though hotels will have hair dryers, but this is one of those tours. If you want to bring a curling iron without having to get a European one, you can do it. So you can do that if you want, but I do just like to mention that some of the outlets will not have a grounding pin. So if it is something particular that you do need, like a charging adapter or a charging for a computer, a lot of those have a grounding pin. So it might be worth bringing one of those 2 to 3 prong adapters just to have if that's something that you end up bringing. And generally, food and water are safe to consume on tour. By all means, you can stick to bottled water because we have a much different gut biome than those in Costa Rica that get raised there. So by all means, we will provide you bottled water on the bus, in your hotels. Anytime you need it, please just ask because we do always have it readily available. But the food and water are generally safe to consume. But again, just practice the general food safety that you would at home in terms of making sure things are fully cooked, and so on and so forth. And I know that that's a lot, but again, all of this is in your general information document. So I do recommend that you do review that again before you depart, just to make sure that you know what to expect once you get on the ground. And I'm going to just take a pause here before we introduce your tour director and see if anyone has any questions.
Emily, there is one when it comes to, I don't know, you probably might still be planning on talking about tipping.
Mhm.
Is it okay to give a tip in US dollars or is it preferred in the cologne?
sorry, my computer just took a okay. So the for tipping, I will cover the tour director tip specifically in the next slide. But when you are doing activities on your own, it is generally accepted to do cologne, like small colognes as a general tip around 10%. Other services will be billed into your check. So I do recommend that you do view that for like meals that you enjoy that aren't included, or if you go decide to get a coffee, it's generally normal to give a few dollars or colognes, but it both are accepted. So,
Okay. And for the tour director as well, or
and for the tour director as well. And well, I can move right on here, and
okay.
this is your lovely tour director. But so for Jose Barquero, who is your tour director, um, you tipping is a very personal thing. So by all means, do what you feel and what you want. But with that, sometimes tipping can be confusing, hence the conversation of it being a question. So we do like to give a general ballpark range for you to tip, and Jose will be your tour director on both the extension and the base tour for those of you that are on both. But you can tip in either USD or in the local currency. And our recommendation is $10 to $20 per person per day. And sometimes, and to answer your question, Regina, just doing USD for a tip for Jose is generally a lot easier because it's money that you can get out before you depart. You know, put it in an envelope, put it in an inside pocket of your suitcase or wherever you feel it's most protected, and then you can hand that to Jose at the end of the tour. But likewise, if you end up using all of your money because you found so many goodies while you're in Costa Rica and you went through your USD supply, you can always take more money out and then hand that over to him at the end of the tour if you prefer. So each are acceptable, but those are my little tips. And just to explain a little bit more about Jose, you are in great hands. He has 24 years of experience as a guide, and he has been with Odysseys for about 12 of those. He is a Costa Rican native and he holds a degree of translation interpretation in English and Spanish. And in his free time, he enjoys bird watching, yoga, sports, hiking, cooking, and baking sourdough bread. So maybe you guys can get some tips and bring them back for us about that. So I know he's really excited to meet you on the ground, and I don't have too much information about him. I wish I've met him, but I know that he is more to tell you once you get there. So, and this is just a little quick slide. I'm just gonna glaze over this. And now that it's not just the pandemic, I know we're all going through a chaotic time with not just travel, but everything. And with that, we do just want to acknowledge that the current travel environment has been hectic ever since the pandemic. And with that, we do just ask that things can happen while on tour, and not just tour, but on own personal travels. But this is group travel after all, and we do ask that you come in with an open mind and a flexible mindset, and understand that things might have to be changed at last minute just due to local regulations and things like that. And I'm not trying to scare you. We just want to make sure that you're aware of everything when you're on the ground. And also, if anything happens, Jose and our tour directors are genuinely so good that you won't even notice that something happens. So I just want to let you know that if it does, Odysseys and MSU has your back. So we will be there. And likewise, if you do get sick, please inform Jose, because we just want to make sure that you have all the tools you need if you need to come home early. And then also, if you are consistently showing like flu symptoms or COVID symptoms, we'll probably ask you to mask up and distance yourself from the group a little bit more, though you will be able to continue touring. So, And then finally, this is my last slide, and then we can open it all to any final questions, and then you can introduce yourself. But this is just our little departure checklist that we like to go over. The first point of action is to check in for your flights 24 hours prior to departure. That is normally when airlines allow you to check in. If you do not have seat assignments at that time, this is when they'll be assigned. Or if you feel like buying a purchased upgrade seat, this is probably the best time to do it too. So I also really like to stress to check in 24 hours or as early as you can, because this is when the airline's going to ask you for your confirmation information of your passport and ID, and to just double check your reservation. And I really want to make sure that you have enough time that if anything goes wrong, that you can call Odysseys if we booked your flights, or you can call the airline just to see what you need to do. So give yourself enough time, and not 5 hours before the flight gets off and last minute check-in. So please make sure that you do that. I also recommend that you take a picture of your passport and or a physical copy printed. It's always just a good tool to have on hand in case you do lose your passport, because it is a good tool to you have a picture of it to get a reinstated emergency passport. So please just make sure that you either know that it's on your phone, or it's a printed copy. So whatever works better for you. And then please arrive for your departure flights 3 to 4 hours prior to departure for your flights. I personally, I know where you're all departing, but not off the top of my head. And I know that there has been a lot of crazy stuff going on with airports between TSA and all of this crazy stuff. So please make sure that you are aware of your airport situation at that time of departure. Hopefully by then things clear up, but I just want to make sure that you're aware, and you give yourself enough time to get through. So 3 to 4 hours might not be it. It might even be like 5 to 6. But like I said, please just make sure you're aware of your airport situation when you depart. And then with that email on March 9th, we did send the essential tour information document. And if there's anything that you take away from this meeting, I really recommend that you write this phone number down or add it as a contact as Odyssey's Unlimited emergency number or Costa Rica emergency, whatever you want to name it as. But it's the 339-222-7456 number. And that is a 24/7 emergency number that is offered by Odyssey's Unlimited. And we do ask that you call this whether you are air inclusive or land only, or you booked your own flights or you booked them through us. Please give us a call if anything happens to your flight that has changed your originally scheduled arrival. So that means TSA took too long and you missed your flight and you got rebooked on a new one. If you have a connection somewhere in between and you missed your flight, anything that, or you're delayed, or you can't even, you're not making it to tour. So please, if anything changes about your travel, please give us a call at that number. And we'll be able to assist you, and then let Jose know of your new arrival time, and then also let Regina know, and then, Kathleen and wherever everyone lands. So we just want to make sure that you're okay and that you have those resources. So please let us know. And then on to the passport again. Please don't forget it anywhere in the back seat of the plane, in the hotel safe, or in, the taxi on your way to the airport. Please, please, please do not forget your passport anywhere. I like to always tell the horror story of when I was working that emergency line right there, of some lovely guests that we had flying to Vietnam. They spent 30 hours getting out there, and then they called me and they didn't know where their passport was, and they had to turn right back around and they had to miss everything. And I would genuinely feel so terrible if that happened. So please make sure that even while you're traveling, that you know where those documents are. And we've made it, we've done it. once you get there, once you retrieve your luggage, you're going to do one of two things depending on how you've booked. If you're air inclusive and or if you've previously arranged a transfer, I know a few of you've booked your own flights. Please just go through customs and into the arrivals hall, and there will be the Odyssey's Unlimited representative there waiting for you, holding this sign in the top left-hand corner. And if you're land only, you can go ahead and head to the first hotel, whether that's the extension or the beginning. I can't recall off the top of my head, but
Let me just sit there and pour.
I do just want to say thank you. If you have any questions that you end up not remembering until later, this is all of our contact information at Odyssey's Unlimited. I know Regina's happy to send them over if she's not able to answer them as well. So again, our email, our general line, and our emergency number. I do just ask that you wait to use the emergency number up until 48 hours prior to your departure, just so we can assist everyone that's already on the ground. So I know that was a lot. I will stop sharing my screen and we'll open it up to questions.
Anyone have any questions?
Do you?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I did think of one thing. Emily, are there laundry services at most of the hotels?
Yes.
Okay.
So if not, if I don't remember correctly, it might only be one that doesn't. It's like the extension one, but all of your hotels will have laundry, and it's send away, ranging from underwear to suits and things like that. And I also recommend that you do laundry if you choose to at a hotel that you have 2 or more nights at, just to ensure that you get your laundry back and you're not rushing or anything. So
Okay.
I may have missed it, but is there an Odyssey app that can be downloaded that would have any of the information regarding the trip, the itinerary, or texting, anything along those lines?
unfortunately not. That's our next step in getting better and than ever. So, but it you can kind of view it through the web browser on your phone, but I do say that it does get distorted as well. But the email we sent you on March 9th is generally going to be like a PDF version of that whole portal.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Well, if you think of anything after this meeting, then feel free to reach out to me. And if I don't know the answer, then I certainly will touch base with Emily to get that answered for you. So, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Emily. I
Of course.
appreciate all your help.
I'm gonna hop off. It was nice to meet you all. Have a wonderful trip, and I hope to see you all soon. So take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, we'll kind of go around the room and have people introduce themselves and say a little bit, what you're looking forward to. And actually, I'm going to start with Kathleen and her husband. So, Kathleen, do you kind of want to talk about your background a little bit?
Sure. So thank you, Regina. So I've been at the university for 25 years. I know you guys probably just recently saw the bio of me, so I'll try not to repeat that. But I've been in annual giving all 25 years. And I was asked in December if I would host this, and I'm over the moon. I'm so excited to do this, and I'm so excited to meet all of you. And then I get to bring this lovely man as my companion, who just announced that he's retiring. So he's super excited about that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ken. I've been at the university. Well, I will make it to 39 years. I will retire on the day that I started. So that's July 9. But excited to go to Costa Rica, see lots of the sites that have been listed out. And this will be our first major international trip. So
Yes. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Well, thank you. Okay, next to the Weatherholts.
Sue Ann, and it's really nice to meet Kathleen and Regina. I get all your emails, but it's nice to put a face with a name. So good to see you. I graduated from Michigan State in 1980 with a degree in education. And this is my husband. We met on Match in 2019. And, we shared rolls of toilet paper and paper towels throughout that. And we got married in October of 23. And so I'll let him tell you a little bit about himself.
My name's Don Weatherholt. Fortunately, with Sue Ann being a graduate of Michigan State, I was able to go on one other trip with her, and we went to Africa, and it was an amazing trip. So really enjoyed that. I've been to Costa Rica once before, and some of the spots look like I may have been there, but there's plenty of other things that I didn't have an opportunity to do. I'm retired. It's been 2 years now. Prior to that was a pharmaceutical executive for 35 years and actually started off as a school teacher and was in education prior to that. So just enjoying a life of travel right now.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. I see it says David's iPad.
So that's me and my wife Gretchen. So I graduated from Michigan State 53 years ago. And I had degrees in education and chemistry and from Lyman Briggs College. So we have done quite a lot of international travel over the years. And in fact, we lived in Switzerland for 10 years. I was also in the pharmaceutical industry, in research and development mostly. So we're really looking forward to Costa Rica. I'm looking forward to the biodiversity and the diverse temperatures that we'll experience. Yeah, it's going to be a good trip.
All right. Gretchen, do you want to say anything?
I'm from the University of Vermont, so I can't claim any ties to MSU other than David.
Okay. Good. All right. The next person I see, it says Andrew Walker. Looks like you're in a sunny, warm place. Oh, yeah. I think you have to unmute. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Can you hear us?
Yes. Uh-huh.
We just need to pull them away from the Michigan State basketball game right now. So we'll talk fast.
Are we winning?
Not right. Oh, it's a slow start always, but we have faith and confidence. I went to Michigan. Holt and we're roommates. We've been best friends for many, many years. So we're on the trip because of the Weatherholts, and we're excited about it. I'm a retired optometrist, and you are a retired environmental engineer. And we're enjoying two lives, one up in Michigan and one down here in Florida. So we're looking forward to seeing Costa Rica and enjoying it.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, the Goldens. Is it Glodens?
It's Gloden, but
Glodens.
it's always golden. So I'm Karen, and I graduated from Michigan State. This is my 50th reunion year. And I worked as an educator for 32 years before retiring. This is our third trip with MSU alumni. And Regina, you were our tour administrator on our very first trip out of the country when we went to Italy a long time ago.
Good.
So we're looking forward to the trip. And I was going to say we met in high school and we got married on campus at MSU.
At the chapel.
And this is Michael.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Mike. I graduated from Michigan State 48 years ago. I have a mechanical engineering degree and enjoyed a 30-plus year career in product development. And looking forward to seeing Costa Rica. Our son and daughter-in-law just got back from a week there 2 days ago. So
wonderful. Yeah, they can give you advice.
Yes.
So, yes. All right. Okay. And next I see Mildred Doster, although I don't see your face, but if you want to unmute and say a few words, that's fine. Okay. All right. Maybe. Oh, there you go. Hi. Oh, it looks like you have to unmute. There you go.
Yeah, I'm Miller Doster, and this is my partner Katie here with me. More than 10 years. This will be our second trip with MSU travel. We did a trip to Greece 3-4 years ago. Looking forward, I've been to Costa Rica several times in the past, but this is very interesting to me with all the fauna and sights that we'll see. A lot of nature, I'm into that. I was raised on a farm. I got 2 degrees from MSU. I have a large farm that I'm trying to get straightened up so we can leave town here. So that's been my agenda lately. Katie, you want to say something?
Millard is my connection to MSU. He's an ER doctor. He's a retired ER doctor. I'm an ER nurse currently. So he is my MSU connection.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for saying a few words. And again, as I mentioned, we have our Bright Crowd online directory. And so if you want to take a look at that, I'll send you a link to it and you can learn, read more about your fellow travelers. So, okay. All right. Well, thank you all for attending. And as I mentioned, I will get the link out for this video. So if you missed something or had, forgotten what was said, then you'll have an opportunity to take a look at it again. So wonderful. Thank you all again for attending and go green. Wish cheer on that basketball team. And I'm sorry I scheduled it during this time, but I had no idea we were playing. So anyway.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you take care. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.